One of the questions that some of you had from last week was about creating a workflow in social media. So essentially figuring out a way to make all of this happen, how to sequence it all, how to put it all together so that you're not just running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And that's what we're going to focus on this week. So if there are social networks that you didn't sign up for last week that I reference, don't freak out about it too much. Please ask someone or partner up with someone who was here, and go ahead and get signed up while we're doing an activity. Please say hello to our guest speaker tonight. Megan is here from Collective Intellect, and she's going to be talking about monitoring and filtering. You want to say hi?
Hello, everyone.
She's,
Thank you for having me.
yay. She's Mega Reeby on Twitter, if you'd like to follow her.
What was that?
Mega Reeby on Twitter.
How do you spell it? MEGAREEBY.
We also had a little bit of a technical issue tonight. Looks like not everything is going to show up, but I will help you through the present. I don't know why it's not. Could it be the resolution size?
Perhaps. I can do it.
Oh, we have some really great tech guys. Okay.
I think it's too high for the projector.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Okay. So while we're figuring that out, I'll go ahead and just jump in. If you can't see the headers, it's not a huge deal. So your workflow in this new social media landscape, it really is up to you. There's no one-size-fits-all solution to this. But tonight what we're going to work with is figuring out tactics or ways for you and your company to just jump in and get started within the social media sphere. Last week, or actually, let's see, today's Monday. Yeah, last week I was in San Francisco at the O'Reilly Web 2.0 Expo, and I had the opportunity to see some really fantastic speakers. My presentation will not even touch the fantastic stuff they did last week. And one woman in particular really stood out for me. Her presentation was on workflow, with an emphasis on the flow, and her name is Kelly Goto. And she talked about this concept of yoyu, which in Japanese essentially means finding time for doing nothing. So really finding time for just kind of taking it all in and enjoying the space. And she talked about how she left on a trip for Hawaii, and when she arrived, she only had one flip-flop with her. And talking to her mom after the trip, her mother said, well, Kelly, you didn't really schedule time for yo-yo. You didn't schedule time to find flow before you left for Hawaii. And I think that's an important concept to remember as we're headed into this kind of sometimes overwhelming space. That creating a workflow that works for you also includes making yo-yo time. The 4 elements of social media workflow, what I've found, we'll come back to that. The first is to listen. And last week we looked at some tools that allow you to listen to the conversation in social media. Anyone want to shout out some tools that we looked at for listening to the conversation? Go ahead, Nancy.
Oh, I was actually waiting to her, but
Twitter. Oh, okay. Okay, Twitter. And specifically what for Twitter?
Search.twitter.com.
Search.twitter.com was the site we looked at. Any others? Monitoring or listening to the conversation that we talked about last week. Delicious. Okay, Delicious as a social networking bookmarking site. Yes. Any other sites we talked about? Facebook, yes, definitely. Not sure where that came from. Those are all good places to listen to the conversation. Okay, and then we talked about engaging. So we created brand statements, sort of our personal brand or our company brand, and we jumped in with Twitter. We created Twitter accounts. We put up a profile picture and our mission statement. If you haven't done that yet, if you don't have a branding statement, we'll have a chance to work on those again. This evening we're looking at monitoring and filtering tools. We're going to drill down into ways to filter the conversation that every day is getting louder. It's getting louder because more people are getting interested in this space, and more marketers in particular are getting interested in this space. One thing I noticed at Web 2 Expo was, how do I get involved? How do I, as a marketer, how do I pitch my product to this audience that is listening to what I have to say? So the truth is, not everyone is listening to what you have to say, and you have to learn to sort of craft a message and put it out there in a way that shows that you have been monitoring and filtering the information that's being said about you and your brand. Finally, create a plan. And I think this is a step that a lot of people skip. They think, oh, I'm just going to jump straight into this new space, and I'm going to put all of me out there. I'm going to put everything out there about my business and about myself. And I think it actually helps to have an action plan. So tonight, our group activity is going to be creating a social media plan. And we're going to work in small teams in the second half of tonight's class after the coffee provided to us by Sydney's Coffee. We're really lucky here in Boulder to have companies that are starting things literally every week. There's a new startup in Boulder. And it's a fascinating time to be in this space because there are tech companies just blossoming all over the place. One person that we have with us tonight is from one of those startups here in Boulder. Are there other tech startups represented here tonight? Anybody in the room? Okay. One of those companies is Filterbox, and as Filterbox says, if you aren't paying attention, this could be you. So basically, don't get caught with your pants down. That's what Filterbox is about. It's about monitoring the conversation, and they have many, many fantastic tools in their in a dashboard setup that allows you to sort of check out what's happening in the social media web around your brand. Another one of those companies, another local company, is Social Thing. This company basically allows you to track and monitor and set up filters around your friends so that you aren't getting just all noise. You can actually set up levels of information that you want to hear from your friends. It also is similar to FriendFeed. Anyone here use FriendFeed currently? Okay, anyone here using Social Thing? No? Okay. The next company that I'd like to talk about briefly, I'll just give you an introduction, is Collective Intellect. And this company is doing fascinating things with monitoring as well. Only it's more about monitoring the words being used around your brand, how people are talking about your brand. For example, if Starbucks puts out a new kind of coffee, it might monitor the words that are being said around it and the sentiment, whether positive or negative, around those words. And it allows you in really quick time to integrate that feedback and then perhaps tweak your marketing plan to respond to what's happening in around your brand. Okay, so